Good evening and welcome to our Renew Physical Therapy pregame show here on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham. Glad to have you along tonight, man. Basketball season. We've only had a brief smattering of it thus far, but we're hoping now that the new year is here to ring in a whole bunch of basketball.
Well, just being a father of a senior, coming to the games on Tuesdays and Fridays, it really excites me and has excited me. And just to be able to get back here on air with you, I think just makes it even a little bit more special.
Now, with this conference, obviously, football and basketball are two gauntlets in their division.
Right. I mean, to go through and to compete at the top of this conference, you have to deal with the Frankie Moose, the Freelands, the Swan Valleys, the Birch Runs, the Bridgeports.
Millington.
No, Millington's on the other side. Let's not be throwing Millington in there. They're
cross
out.
Over.
Elma last week, was proved to be a tough out for the Dukes. But every night, there's no nights off. I mean, and I think that leads to a couple of things. One, it keeps everybody on their toes, and it really keeps their attention when they're going through the pregame scout and they're watching film. Because if you go into a game where you think you've got the game won, you kind of get a little lax. But Coach Watts has these guys really dialed in on every game, on every scout, on every film of every opponent.
When you talk about Coach Watts, you talk about stability, and stability is huge in a basketball program.
Yeah, his program has been running, I don't want to say smoothly, but, oldest son Trey, who's now an assistant on the varsity with Coach Watts. Trey's junior year was Coach Watts' first year when they had a couple of quarterfinal runs. And, ever since then, I've been able to see firsthand of not just how Coach Watts deals with the varsity level, but all the way down into the Dukes Can Do program when they get the kids that go into the elementary schools on Fridays and read to the kids, do some tutoring with the kids. Things that get the kids excited about wanting to be a part of their program. And you come to the camps in the summer, Coach Watts' camp is always filled, and it's always filled with hopefuls that one day they can put another year up on that banner.
They've got good guard play, but, boy, when you want to maximize what's going on the team, you look to Max first.
Yeah, I think Max is he's undervalued from the standpoint of everyone knows him from the football field and on the baseball field. But really in the basketball court and being around Max for quite a few years now, I've watched him develop into a very dynamic post player. He can do a lot of things. He actually stepped out a little bit to the 15-foot range, but really he's more comfortable when he can catch it and he can just elevate and do a little baby hook with his left hand, and he's tough to guard. And on the other side of it, he can guard.
In his leadership, I mean, that is something that there is not enough stock put in. Great coaching, great assistance, great system, but every good team needs good leadership.
Yeah, and this team doesn't really lack the leadership standpoint. Max is a quiet leader. He comes every day, he puts in the work, and people can really respond to that. Cade Wallaker, another player, comes in, maybe not the most vocal player, but definitely someone when you're watching his work ethic, it makes you and inspires you to want to become a better player. Then you got Owen Prokopenko, another senior, who does the same thing. He just puts in the work and the work and the work. And Brendan Newsham, who won't be playing tonight, he still goes to practice. He participates in practice. And he is probably the vocal leader, but he still is that vocal leader from the bench.
Well, those kids, they work their butts off and play a lot in the offseason to get better, and we are excited about the possibilities. We'll be back with all the game action. That puts the wraps on the Renew Physical Therapy pregame show. All excited about the game in just a moment on BCTV.
Choose Renew Physical Therapy for an experience that exceeds expectations. When our team started out, we researched the physical therapy industry to learn what patients and doctors liked and what they disliked. Now we have the perfect formula for you. We offer individualized one-on-one care that is custom tailored to you, ensuring that your needs are met and your goals are attained. With our evidence-based approach to physical therapy, we're able to provide a level of care unlike any other. Contact us today to learn more. We're here to help. Renew Physical Therapy.
Good evening and welcome back. It's high school basketball. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham. Glad to have you along on BCT along with Nick Page. Ready to go as Max Fellows is going to jump center, and that opening tip is controlled by the Swan Valley Vikings as they quickly come into the front court. Jason?
Yeah, absolutely. This might be the first jump ball that Mr. Fellows has not received this year. So Already a different start for the Dukes.
Very nice job of using the iron as an extra defender, coming around through with a kiss off the glass. Protopenko with the first deuce of the game.
Very good. And Boer on the other side with the return three, giving the Vikings a 3-2 early lead.
How about that stroke from Boer?
Oh, I've had that kid in camps for a couple of years, and he's been fun to watch mature and grow. He's been on the varsity all along, and just watching that continued growth has been impressive.
As they slide around right now. Beautiful run to the hole by number 20. As he had a nice job too. Patience on offense so far for Garber with a couple of buckets.
Well, it's always nice when those patience wear off, or pay off. And Boer again with the triple from the left corner. He says, anything I can do from one side? Let me show you my symmetry.
I don't think I like one side better than the other. I'm just going to let it fly. But, I mean, again, you see that natural, pure stroke of his, and they're going to have to be very conscious of him. And we're going to have a beautiful job to the hole by Wallaker. Cade got the deuce and is going to go to the line to try and finish off the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Well, they found really good success in the first two actual half-court possessions running their dribble drive offense. It can become a little methodical, but you really try to break that defense down and look for a gap. And Cade in that situation, Cedarburg crossed over and just kind of clipped his guy and gave him enough room to get to the basket and make a layup to tie the game at 6 apiece. So. Now, the one thing that you're going to notice the Garber is doing, which is not very typical of Coach Watts' program, is they're going a little zoned. The bench depth, and these guys play a lot of minutes, these starters, so have been showing a little 1-2-2 action. For the most part, it has worked, and you're going to try and keep Boer off the three-point line for sure.
Well, he is a very off-balance shot, which shows that he's actually mortal.
Yeah. Misses
his first shot of the game.
Yeah, so you're going to see a little bit now when they come out of bounds, they will go to man. So they will come out of man in this situation. So
as referee Kevin Sinicki has to remind Coach Boer, that this is your spot on the floor. You can't come up to midcourt. And
Kevin and I had that conversation a couple of weeks ago during Christmas I said, I never believed in that coach's box. He said, it exists.
Well, and there's a lot of people that don't know that it exists, too. A shot is missed on the play by Wagner, and the ball coming quickly back down. Protopenko will set up the show offensively.
Little dribble drive again. Cade really paying attention to where his defender's at. Avoids him. Tries to go for the contact. Unfortunately, Fellows is there for the offensive board. Hayes with the defensive board, and their Vikings are off.
Well, and it was interesting to see that Fellows goes with the lefty down there from about 5 on the baseline. And we're going to have a foul on the play.
That was just out of, it's a foul. You're out of control, and the contact, but you still got to be responsible.
But 2.5 minutes into the game, each team with only one team foul with the new rules. Look at that, Boer just from the top of the key. 3 for 3 from trifecta here in the first quarter.
Well, Garber on last Friday, played Alma. They had some trouble with a kid named Kay Sutherland who hit, he had 6 triples, but they had 10 triples in the first half as a team, which is really kind of showcasing their ability. So they're trying to change some things up. And again, you got Boer who can stroke it. So now let's see if they change up their defense a little bit.
Wide open from 18 with a beautiful stroke for number 10, Cedarburg. As the Dukes are hanging tough, down 9-8 with 4:50 and counting left in our first quarter. A near steal that time. Protopenko really extending the defense.
Yeah, and Cedarburg on that last offensive shot, he's really developed. He's come into a starting role since Nushin's been out, and has really flourished in the starting role.
Gassed with the deuce at the other end. A nice mid-range jumper finding the bottom of the hole. 11-8 as the Swan Valley Vikings with the early lead. Fellows is going to go to work underneath and gave up the shot, looking for a better opportunity. Hindsight may have tried to finish it himself.
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, and don't we always look at hindsight and think, well, you know what, since I threw it out of bounds, I might have taken a shot, but hey, they get the ball back. So
put that in the back of the frontal lobe.
All's well that ends well. Prokopenko, number 12 for the Dukes, is a player to, when he gets warmed up, he really can stroke that ball and struggled a little bit in the last couple of games, but looking really to break out of it.
Well, and I've had the ability to watch him in the 3-on-3 as he's been able to do some of that too, and you just got to love those hoops junkies.
Yeah, and that's all he is, and you know he is that by definition. But we're getting a little double team action there now. Now they leave him, and he says, "You know what? This is my range."
Which normally it is. Thinks he may have rushed that shot a little bit as the defense backed down.
The baseline right there.
Very nice.
I've seen that move a time or two with Lucas.
Yep. Well, and he just felt the contact and then gave himself enough space with a little kiss off that expensive piece of glass.
Yeah, if they're going to spend it on there, you may as well use it.
And that's an underutilized thing anymore. Great look underneath and unable to finish, but another offensive rebound. Great job that time by Max Fellows as he decides, I'm not going to pick up the foul. I'm just going to try and get the verticality, and that's how you stay on the floor.
He does a nice job with his verticality, but, you know, he jumps so well and so quick that a lot of times he is able to alter a shot, if it's not necessarily always get a block on it. But sometimes that's all you need to do is alter a shot and then have your the rest of the Dukes get a rebound.
So Wallaker walks it up over the timeline into the front court. Again, allowing a little bit of hand check, and now they're going to go under Fellows, and Fellows does a great job. He draws 3 defenders, and wide open shot that you got to like the chances of that shot going down.
Yeah, that was Tyrell for the Vikings who just entered the game with the rebound.
As Fellows slaps it away. There's a 2-on-1 the other end, and you know the finishing. Able to.
Man,
Wallaker couldn't get that thing to drop.
probably hasn't missed a field goal all year either.
Ball out of bounds, 11-10 with the Swan Valley with possession and that 1-point lead with 2:29 left in the first.
Dick King coming into the game for the first time. He's going to spell Lucas Naring, senior. You know, another athletic body out there that can really complement Max on the block in terms of being able to alter shots and then go up and get some.
He's a defensive and rebounding specialist. He's not going to put a ton of points on the board, but he's capable of put-back points for sure.
Well, you got to know your role, and it's a role that you may not always like, but if you can do it and do it well, as we talk about it, and that just had a weird bounce off of it, and that's going to be a foul on Fellows at that time. Hayes was just a little bit stronger on the body.
Boy, again, my favorite rebound in basketball, that backside rebound, and he kind of ate the ball, didn't bring it back down. Fellows rotated over and created a little contact. First of 2 free throws. Unique style at the free throw line, but everybody's got whatever.
Well, he knows the guy's coming in for him at the scorer's table, so he's like, you know what? I should have made the first one. I should have missed the second one. I want to stay on the court.
We'll see if he, in fact, is the one that they may be subbing. Well, he will be because they.
A reel with the rebound, offensive rebound, and a travel, so that will get Hayes out of the game as
Fellows again active defensively with his second block of the game.
Ortiz will come into the game and spell Hayes. So we give you the offensive players. You got Prokopenko, Cedarberg, Wallaker, Fellows, and King on the floor for the Dukes at this time. You're going to run Cleveland, another staple of little zone action right now by Swan Valley.
Cedarberg is going to be very important in this offense to get that wing shot. Beautiful open look, unable to finish, and we are going to have a jump ball off the alternate possession. They're going to stay here, and it'll be Dukes with another offensive opportunity.
Well, we just talked about Victor King's presence out there and what he's out there for, and that is it. As Nearing will check into the game.
King is really physically filled out in the last year, too. He was more of a long, lanky kid in the past, but he's thickened up and done a little work in the offseason, you can tell.
Well, he loves the track game, and you can tell he really enjoyed the strength part of the track program. People think it's all running, but they do a lot of the strength programming with as Fellows gets a nice inside pass, turns, splits 2 guys, and will get fouled and head to the free throw line.
How about that quick first step to split the defenders and get to the hole.
Well, you got to have that presence. I mean, think about being a receiver. You know when you're in a situation, you're crossing the middle, and you've got a guy here, you got a guy there. You know where you got to, maybe plant that foot and go one direction. So basketball, he's just able to take so much of his athletic skill from that sport and then really apply it here on the basketball court.
Whitbroad into the game as Fellows with a soft stroke from the southpaw side. Second attempt, up. He touches the iron, but he says the only thing that matters is the end result is all cotton. Dukes, their first lead of the ball game, 12-11 with 1:15 left in our first. Another open look at three and great extra pass underneath, but Fellows altered that shot and then was able to get the rebound.
Well, I'm going to give credit to Whitbroad with the initial touch on the. Max was just able to get the rebound and get it out to Cade as a kickball there off of Ortiz's foot.
So they'll go back here as inside what I call the imaginary triangle from the corner to the top. Anything inside of that, we're going to go to two spots on the baseline. And another one of the ever-changing rules that are going on is another good open look and unable for Cedarburg to finish. As we're down to 45 seconds left in our first quarter of play.
That's one real nice thing about Cedarburg at the top of that zone is he's really lanky and he's really good at reaction. So, you got Max on the backside, you've got Cody up at the top of it. It's a really good combination when you're trying to just alter, make some of those passes just off a little bit so you're not catching it shot ready. Those are things that you don't necessarily see in a box score, but they're very important. The 1-3-1 look by the Vikings here.
Like the way that Coach Boer has really shown some different looks to Garber here, and we're going to have a jump ball off the alternate possession. That's going to go back over to Swan Valley, so active hands defensively.
Yeah, I think that one of the things you want to keep the ball away from in 1-3-1 is that corner. Unfortunately, that's right where Blake caught the ball, so, in that situation, you're in a coffin corner over there, and just not a place you want to be when they're going to be sending those two guys down there.
Boy, when you're the top or the bottom of that 1-3-1, you better have your rabbit food because you're going to be doing some running.
You are moving. 5 seconds left. Walker bringing it up.
Wallaker's going to pull up from 28, comes up just short at the end of one. Swan Valley 13, Garber 12, back in a minute with the second quarter on BCTV. So your car is getting towed and you're not sure where to take it? Try Village Towing and Auto Repair. Our expert mechanics are here to help assist you with all your repair needs. We have over 30 years of experience with motor vehicles, so you know you're getting the best work that you can find. Stop by the shop at 2377 South Huron Road in Coquitlam or give us a call at 989-684-9607. Back and ready to roll here with our second quarter on BCTV as the Garber Dukes will have the first possession of our second quarter. And we talked during that 60 seconds, a very efficient and briskly played first quarter by both teams.
Yeah, it was very well played. I thought both sides of it. I like what they're doing here on the defensive side for Swan Valley, keeping everybody guessing. But that's what they got to look. They got to look diagonal in this 1-3-1. They got to make sure they stay away from the corners and then make sure they flash to the open spots. And son of a gun, right on cue, Lucas Naring drives, Max Fellow cut, and we end up with a wide open layup for Max. So 14-13.
Well, Fellows again on the other end. Whenever Fellows gets the ball in the 1-3-1, they're going to have front and back coverage on him. So he's really got to look to go opposite. Somebody should be wide open in that 1-3-1.
And there's another wide open look right there for Wallaker from Fellows, and that triple is good for Cade Wallaker. 17-13, Dukes are ahead.
Boy, Wallaker knew that ball was coming, squared up the feet, got everything shoulders square, and let it fly and hit nothing but the bottom of the net. At the other end, and that is just like taking candy from a baby for number 5, Whitbroad, as he gets the deuce. And nice little 7-0 run here, giving the Garber Dukes a quick lead here in the second quarter. Swan Valley looks like they need to get things rolling. Oh, we got a youngster with a ball.
Yeah, I've seen that ball rolling around up here too, so it's making its way from the balcony to the floor. So It'll be a Dave Schwartz conversation with a mom or a dad.
A one-sided conversation.
Yeah, it's not open-ended. It's not a negotiable.
Well, but you do have choices. Hold on to the ball or head home. As they could just barely get that in the 5 seconds. Fellows does a nice job not to pick up a second foul. You don't want that 30 feet from the basket.
Exactly. I think on that last play, Prokopenko, I think Swan Valley was looking for a foul. Unfortunately, Prokopenko just looked like he was in good position. The kid fell. He gets it, throws it up to Blake ahead, and all of a sudden the Dukes are ahead. Here they go again.
And again, that ball is halfway past Fellows. You got quick hands, you bat it back to yourself, and you come into the offensive set. Those are the little things that don't always show up in the statistics that make a huge difference in wins and losses. There is, he can make a deuce.
Yeah, well, you know, the thing about Boer is he's been baiting that pass for a while now, and that's one of those things where he's on the opposite side of the 1-3-1. His eyes are on it. So when he starts coming up, that means you're diagonal. That means your left corner is going to be more open. And you're seeing right now the Dukes are really getting the ball in this corner, and they're actually dribbling it right back up so they avoid getting trapped in that corner as Cedarburg will return to action.
So Boer, as you're saying, has a very high basketball IQ.
Oh, he's got a high basketball IQ. You know, talking to his dad before the game, I said, "How things going?" He says, "You know, day by day." He says, "When you have two players from your team that live in the same house," so I says, "Hey, been there, done that, got the T-shirt." And I'm very happy to be in the broadcast booth.
Yes, indeed. Life is much easier up here. As the Garber Dukes with a 4-point lead trying to play defense. Another wide open look, a little bit too strong. Rebound comes down to Cedarburg. And the Garber Dukes coming into the offensive set. Nice job by Wallaker there not to force the activity. Prokopenko.
There you go, get it out. That's what you can hear the coaches saying, get it out of the corner.
Love the fact that the Garber Dukes are showing great patience again. Another really nice look, and look at Fellows. Kind of sniffed that out and said, I might be able to get my hands on this.
A little jump stop, little hop step, little skip, woo-hoo-hoo, and a foul.
Yeah, he did a little bit of Asian, European, and American there in that last one. But the bottom line is he ends up with 2 at the free throw line.
That's right. And Lucas, you know, he's one of those things where sometimes his eyes get a little bit bigger than the speed can go, but he likes to get to that basket, so he likes to make things happen, whether that's him putting up a shot or like we saw earlier, getting to the baseline and then feeding Fellows on the cut.
Wallaker looks to make the adjustment on the second free throw, splits the pair. The Dukes up 5 right now with 4:50 and counting left in our second quarter.
Yeah, right now Isaac Boer is just getting a quick break over there on the Viking bench. I don't expect that to last too long. He might even have to overrule Dad on that one. I'm ready. I'm going in.
Yep. I've got my quick blow, and I'm ready to go. As it won't be long, and I'd say with the Duke basket here, it may be time for Swan Valley to have a quick 30-second timeout and try and regroup, and they get it done on the defensive end. And say, Coach, save one of those 5 timeouts. I think we got things back under control.
Wallaker just not able to beat him to the spot as right on cue, Boer coming back in, and on the Duke side, Victor King will re-enter the game, giving Max a little bit of a blow this time. And again, we talked about a little bit earlier, you know, the starters play a lot of minutes. They're probably 90 minutes or 90% of the minutes, and you know, that fourth quarter is when they really have struggled. So they want to be able to close this one out strong, and they want to make sure they save those legs.
And, you know, you're 16, 17 years old for the most part, and there was a beautiful shot for the Deuce, a little floater from 10 on the wing.
We're going to give that one to Wagner, 15, Cooper Wagner.
But, you know, kids this age only need about a 60 to 90-second blow. They don't need 5 minutes or anything, and what a great job. Absolutely. It's like he felt like the Red Sea parted for him, and he was able to keep his composure and float one up from the backside.
Well, he froze the defender, almost wanted to pass it, and thankfully he thought twice about it and was able to make something happen.
It's Victor King with a nice closeout. Actually, a really nice move there by number 33, Keels, as he gets the Deuce to bring the Vikings back to within 3 with 3.5 left in our first half of play. And gotta love the officials, the way they're just letting these kids play, and there's a great flow to the game.
3 seconds being called by King, and that's one of the calls that he's had multiple 3 seconds. But sometimes I think he gets so excited because he's so open or he's got the seal that you just lose track of the time. But the more minutes that you get on the floor, you get that internal clock that's telling you, well, I got to get out. I got to get out.
Well, in 3 seconds in high school basketball, from about 95% of the officials, is more the 5-second rule. And if you got 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and you're really not a major factor in the game, there's a lot of people that are going to let some of that go.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously this was a situation where they felt like he built a campfire and was making a sandwich.
Well, when you get your s'mores out and you start asking who wants them, it usually is a bad sign.
Dukes with a 3-point lead as we hit the 3-minute mark of our first half. Into Fellows. Fellows looks backside. Very nice job as they get the ball down to number 20, Luke Nearing.
Yeah, Lucas on that nice cut. Again, we're looking, when you get the ball in the middle, you want to diagonal. You want to look diagonal, and that was exactly where Max looked when he had the opportunity. Now, Lucas got pushed there by number 2, Reyes. The team is second foul for the second quarter. We got to get used to saying that one.
And again, inside, boy, great shot opportunity, high percentage shot, just unable to finish, but you got to like the look. Look at Boer.
That's a high percentage shot for him.
Yeah. And, splits the defense, chin on the rim, and finishes at the hole. And look at Fellows keeping that.
All of them.
Alive. And a beautiful finish.
The hustle pays off for the Dukes in that situation. You had Max on the floor, Lucas on the floor. Boer was on the floor for Swan Valley. They're going to take a timeout. 30 seconds.
We'll take a break and be back in a moment on BCTV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on BCTV as we watch the Garber Dukes come out of their timeout. Again, the
Brain Trust.
Long-time head coach looking at all those well-dressed gentlemen to his right. And, the assistant coaches don't get enough credit for what they do behind the scenes. They give that verbiage once in a while, just that thought to a coach who's they know is thinking about other things, and they are a very valuable asset to any program.
Yeah, he does a nice job of keeping his guys included. I mean, he's got longevity with a lot of those guys on that bench. Jared Kazmarek and Pat McMartin. And then new addition to him this year is Trey Newsham, who was the freshman coach the last couple of years. So Cedarburg with a nice pull-up jumper and left it a little short. He said, you know what, why get 2 and I can get Owen in the corner for 3.
Owen, certainly. And we know what he can do once he heats it up. And when that first one goes in, I look for him to see if he can burp another 1 or 2 up here before halftime.
He just needs to see that one go in. He really does. He's one of those players as a coach that you want to get him you want to do something for him to get him that opportunity to see it go through and get that confidence.
And a great determination and a finish. Ortiz, as we call him, Ortiz with the deuce. 2-point Duke lead now as we're approaching the 1-minute mark. And Owen sitting here in the corner was wide open again, just frothing at the mouth to try and get that ball. Get the ball to Owen. It's going to be a nice go to the hole finish. Unable to make that happen was Wallaker, and wide open in the corner trying to make an answer with the 55 seconds left is number 15, Cooper Wagner. And
what a change of events right there. 5-point swing. And you're seeing Swan Valley more of a 1-2-2, or maybe a little man.
They really switched things up, and what a great move to the hole. Very nice job where Boer gave up the baseline, and it ended up being a Duke 1-point lead off the deuce.
Most of the time we want them to go baseline. We want them to run out of bounds. We don't want to run them to the baseline and let them go to the basket. Nice. Don't let the ball hit the floor. Nearing with the first miss.
Look at
Fellows. with the second one. Oh, couldn't get it to go. Rebound by Hayes.
Boy, and that's a shot he'll make 9 out of 10 times there on the putback. But Duke's up by 1 and no longer as Boober with 1 second left. There's a shot at the end of the first half off the rim. At the half, it's 31-29. The Swan Valley Vikings by a deuce over the Garber Dukes. We'll be back in a moment. We'll recap the first half, set the stage for the second half right here on BCTV.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Back at our Village Towing halftime show here on BCTV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham. A very entertaining, very quick-paced, back-and-forth game, well played by both teams.
Yeah, I thought it kind of played out how we thought it was going to. You know, they got some inside scoring with Nearing and fellows from the Dukes. They got a couple of outside shots. Prokopenko, Cedarburg hit a nice pull-up jumper. Wallaker hit an open three. You know, kind of the usual suspects, so to speak. And then we kind of knew what Swan Valley. Isaac Boer, senior, 4-year player here at Swan Valley on the varsity. Really flourishing in his role, and you know he started off, come out, hit 3 threes, a couple layups in there. So he's probably, I don't have unofficial, but about 15 to 17 points of the first half. So, you know, again, playing out the way we want to. But we, you know, if you're a Garber Duke, you know, coach, and you're in that huddle or in that locker room, not the huddle, but the locker room right now, you really got to make sure we're paying attention to where number one is on Swan Valley. And if you're Coach Boer, you really got 5 guys that are scoring for the Dukes, so you got to figure out which one do you want to try to close off and force someone else to become a star.
Well, when Boer hits his first shot for the right side for 3, then he goes to the left side, hits his second shot for a 3. That really causes the defense to try and close out on him. Then his next few baskets were finishing at the hole, so he's shown the ability to do both.
Well, the thing about it is when you get that defender off of a couple of feet and then everyone's yelling at you, that shooter, 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 your mind doesn't even look at where he's at. If he's even in the shot-ready position, you just hear shooter. So you almost sprint, almost leaving yourself unbalanced. And when you do that, he's smart enough to know, okay, he's coming out at me standing straight up. I know the lower I am, the quicker I am. So I'm going to be able to go by him. And when he does, he's got a very nice first step. And when you only need 4 steps from 25 feet, it really shows how much room you're covering.
With the quick pace of the first half, it's going to be very interesting to see the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter, what type of stamina that the Garber Dukes have left, because there's been very few stoppages of play. And sometimes when there's a stoppage of play, it might only be 10 or 15 seconds, but it's just enough for you to take a couple of deep breaths and regroup.
Well, Wallaker played all 16 minutes there in the first half, and Cedarburg got a little bit of a break. Owen Prokopenko got a little bit of a break. When I say little, we're talking minimal. We're talking 1 stoppage, 2 whistles maybe. Max came out real quick. Vic King spelled him and Lucas in the post, you know, kind of keeping either Lucas on the floor or Max on the floor. So, you know, it's one of those things. But, again, not having a developed, as you're seeing from Swan Valley. They ran a couple of guys off the bench. Real came in and gave some real good minutes. That really can play a lot. Now, on the other side of it, you're 17, 18 years old. You've got 16 minutes left. You know, can you give us 30-second burst? Can you give us a minute burst? No timeouts except for the one by Swan Valley, which was a 30-second. So Garber sitting on 5 timeouts. Coach Watts is smart enough to know if he can steal a couple of extra minutes through a timeout at the end of a quarter, however he can do it to get those guys a little bit of a blow. I expect them to continue to learn their team while they're going through the process.
Great first half. Looking forward to what the second half brings. That puts the wraps on our halftime show sponsored by Village Towing. Back with all the second half action in just a moment on BCTV. Village Towing and Auto Repair of Kaukaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs. Back ready to roll here to start our third quarter of play. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham, glad to have you along. Producing, directing, and filming, Mr. Nick Page, our trifecta of fun here on a Wednesday night. just after the new year. Got our first snowfall of the new year and made for some sloppy conditions today, but
we're here.
No detriment for our team to be able to get through ice, sleet, or snow. We're better than the post office. So, first offensive possession of the second half. Up a deuce, taking their time offensively. Going strong to the hole and then trying to dish it back out. They are definitely taking time off the clock. They've taken 40 seconds off without getting their first shot up, and great hands defensively, knock that ball away, and the Dukes come to try and tie or take the lead with their first offensive.
Yeah, I was waiting for the shot clock to go off there, but no, nice patience on both sides of it. Swan Valley coming back into 1-3-1 here to start the second half. Struggled a little bit when they were able to get the ball on the max, and they're going to try and keep Hayes on him as Wallaker goes in with a little floater and a deuce for the tie.
How about the soft touch on that shot and the friendly home rims?
That reminds me of back in the day in the playground.
But that's back when you'd hit those metal nets and you'd hear the ching. Yes. We call it the chimes.
That's right.
That was always a fun thing and brings back great playground memory days, fellows, with a good hands defensively.
Well, Cade with Butt in the right spot as they try to go back door, as Cade decides to try to go back door. So one turnover leads to another, but quick hands there by fellows. Were able to at least get that ball corralled as Boer comes up into the front court.
Boer says, look at that, I'm open. And he misses Max Fellows. And there's 5-on-4 numbers if the Garber Dukes see fit to go after him. Wallaker dribble penetrates, and oh boy, that shot came up quite a bit short from Cedarburg.
Well, right now his number one goal is to stop Boer from getting open looks. So, you know, it's one of those roles where sometimes that may play a little bit on your legs, too, when you're trying to maybe muster up something.
Back a little man defense for the Garber Dukes.
A little man-to-man.
Switching things up a little bit. Again, another open look, and that thing is way short. And
Hayes with the right idea.
Yep.
With the save, he just threw it to Cedarburg.
He had the wrong colored jersey. Wide open for a good look from about 20 feet, and unable for Owen to get that shot to drop. Boy, everything coming up short here to start the third.
They moved something at halftime. I don't know. You know, I did go down and get some popcorn. They're going to get an offensive foul right there on Wallaker. Got a little too deep and
just a little out of control going to the hole.
And Wagner there for the offensive foul. I guess that would be the taker of the foul. As Cedarburg is going to get a break. Again, you know, Cedarburg's number one goal in the second half is to make sure Isaac works for everything he gets. And again, now Blake Whitbrook, probably known more for his defensive prowess out there for the Dukes, will now allow Owen Prokopenko to switch on to Boer.
Prokopenko, again, he's like an Energizer bunny, and he's going to make Boer work for every single thing that he gets.
A good rotation.
Fellows again doing a great job not to pick up the foul, but try and change the trajectory on the shot.
I think his face expression was worth taking those 2 points back off. He's like, you can't tell me that just went in.
Yep, I did everything right, and that's all you can do defensively.
Again, when they throw that ball to the corner, you're going to see that dribble or quick ball movement as I say that. Whitbrook right to the free throw line for the deuce. Assist from Nearing in the corner.
Boy,
way to hit the open gap.
He almost willed himself to that shot. Free throw extension. Just made it look quick and easy.
They're going to get an offensive there, and that's been, you know, one of those things a little bit close at a couple of times, but that time they got Hayes with a little bit of an extra move into the screen, which makes that one illegal.
So now the officials are going to have a little chat with the young man that about 3-4 seconds after the whistle decided to see how his stroke went, and with a veteran crew, that's not always well appreciated. But they'll find out that it's not really going to be tolerated or permissible.
Negative, Ghost Rider.
The pattern was full. Yes. Tied at 33 with 4.5.
They didn't stop Maverick. I don't know if it's going to stop Boer.
Well, different circumstances.
You might look at that angle.
Again,
get the ball out.
Fellows felt that double team and got rid of that ball instantly.
There's the angle pass. Prokopenko, nice arc.
Prokopenko unable to get it, but boy, you'll take that open look from him all day long. Missing everything and trying to get down the floor in a hurry. Prokopenko in the corner. That's the one that he thought was going to make, and He decided because he missed the second one, he just kind of second-guessed himself for a split second, and that's unusual for him.
Boer with the quick hands gets the steal on Naring.
And knows how to finish.
Yeah, puts in the quick deuce, takes the lead 35-33 back in favor of the Vikings. Very low scoring third quarter.
Boy, I like the way that Uber does a nice job of using his body. Prokopenko had himself squared up that time, and boy, that can be a confidence-boosting three.
I think what you notice when you watch that one on instant replays, you're going to see the pass. The pass that came from Wallaker, he attacked the seam and then was able to get the ball right in that shot-ready position. And that was one of those things where you don't understand how important it is, where you don't have to manufacture something. You can catch it, square up, and then stroke it. And that was key right there for Prokopenko.
And when Prokopenko gets that ball in the corner, he's anticipating that ball, and he's got his feet squared up, his shoulders squared up, and it was just in good natural rhythm that he gets that trifecta.
Now they're going, Swan Valley went back man-to-man in this possession.
But Coach Buber's really done a nice job of mixing up the defense.
Well, all you want to do is keep them guessing. You want to make sure that whatever they think they're running, they're not really running. Nice extra pass from Wallaker to Prokopenko for three! And all of a sudden, he forgot about the shots he's missing. That's the sign of a shooter right there.
Well, again, the extra pass leads to the open trifecta, and the Dukes are up by 4 points now with 2.5 left in the third.
I really like this Wagner kid, number 15, the sophomore, for Swan Valley. But before the shot goes up, there's a timeout being called on the floor. It looks like it's going to be a 30-second timeout.
Swan Valley will take it. We'll take a break as well. We'll be back in a moment on BCTV.
Are you ready to gear up and stand out? Look no further than Sandlot, your local destination for custom screen printing, embroidery, and promotional goods in the Great Lakes Bay region. With not one, not two, but 3 convenient locations right here in the heart of the Great Lakes Bay region, we're your MVP when it comes to branded gear that hits the mark. For over 15 years, we've believed in community, in delivering top-tier quality, and in making your brand shine brighter than ever. And guess what? We're not just about sports. From schools to clubs, from businesses to community events, we're your one-stop shop for custom apparel that makes a statement. So if you're ready to elevate your brand, to make an impact, and to fuel your passion, choose Sandlot. Visit us today at one of our 3 unbeatable locations in the Great Lakes Bay region, or check us out online at sandlotsports301.com. Sandlot, where quality, community, and apparel collide. Your brand, our passion.
Back here on BCTV as Kevin Sinicki tells Coach Boer and the gang, time to break the huddle and let's get back to basketball. Talk for a second, Coach, about that 30-second timeout and what you hope to accomplish in that really 20 seconds of time.
Well, you took the lead 35-33 on a layup, and then you've given up 2 threes and a couple of extra really nice passes. And one thing you don't want to do is continue to let Prokopenko, catch the ball in shot-ready position. So you want to have that conversation with the guys. You want to be able to tell them, just calm down, but really you're just trying to slow down that momentum of Essexville Garber. The last couple possessions, I don't think they could have went any better for Garber, any worse for Swan Valley. So it's just really get a drink, let's redial it in, let's see what we want to do, and then change maybe something up defensively.
Because you really don't get a chance to discuss any offense really in that 20 seconds. It's just a refocus period and remind them of their job responsibilities. A perfect pass if Coach Boer was the intended target.
Isaac is looking at him. I was like, yeah, you made that pass perfect if your dad was a target.
Yes. Now, that might have been the pass that you made in the driveway when you were playing horse or something, but.
No, he's going to say, I never passed that ball. Never get it back.
Yes, indeed. If you want the ball, go for a rebound if there is one. 2 minutes and counting left in the third. Duke's up by 4 with possession.
There's a little dribble drive action again, especially where they've had some success, and it won't count, but Cedarburg gets the ball in rhythm as well. Now Wallaker will get a break with the minute 59 left here in quarter number 3 as Whitbrodt will come back in. Seems King is the post sub right now, and Whitbrodt's kind of rotating with the guards.
As he's going to come out and pick up the Vikings at half court. somebody other than Boer hitting the trifecta.
Yeah, Isaiah Hayes,
Isaiah, yep.
You know, I think the unorthodox shot kind of maybe throws it off a little bit. Nice spin move by, and now all of a sudden the defensive intensity picks up. And a slam jam, thank you, ma'am, by Mr. Hayes.
Boy, he took off, and he had one thing in mind, and he was able to finish. With 1:23 left, don't look now, but that 30-second timeout bared some fruit for Coach Boer.
You know, I think, again, what is Hayes doing? He's coming out, he hits a three, gets a steal, maybe a little ill-advised pass. But the one thing that they haven't given up on the other side of it is an open-looking three by the Dukes. So definitely in their favor at that 30-second timeout. That was a successful 30-second.
Absolutely was. Now the Dukes with an opportunity with a $1:21 left here in the third. As, again, when you talk about a quick blow, you're talking about 60 seconds.
Maybe 60 seconds in time, but there's 28 seconds on the clock.
And just enough to get a drink and be ready to roll. And, you know, that's one thing I do as the facility manager at Bay City Central. At the end of the first and third quarter, I bring the officials a drink of water. And I always like that as an official. You know, you get a little parched. There's a beautiful backdoor cut for the Deuce. Cedarburg with two.
Tell you what, Lucas Naring might be the leader in assists tonight. Not sure I want to put him at the point guard position, as Cedarburg is tipping-toeing on the sideline. Unfortunately, throws the ball back, and Swan Valley will take that ball and head the other way. But nice steal, good anticipation, had the proper hand in the lane. That's a Coach Guizdala move right there. Get that proper hand in the lane and do your right thing. And Boer checks back in for the Vikings with just under a minute left here in quarter number 3.
Well, whenever you can use that offhand to knock the ball away and eliminate the body contact, and you're heading normally in the right direction to see if you have an opportunity to finish.
Yes. You know, we teach that a lot, on how, and not just the drill itself, but the why. Why are we doing those things? You want to get that tap, and you want to have that momentum going to make something happen. We talked earlier about Cedarburg's length right there, and right there he gets the pass from Ortiz and Reyes and knocks it out of bounds. Leaves 36 seconds left here. Ball back to the Vikings.
Well, Prokopenko defensively very aggressive, but he's got to make sure he's not too aggressive and pick up 2 quick ones in a row.
Correct, especially in that situation though. But I do like, that might be a little travel. You might want to take an Uber back to Shields tonight.
Yeah, that was, like I said, a little Euro plus.
30 seconds here in quarter number 3. 41-40. Again, a little bit low scoring here in the third quarter, but definitely I think both teams have settled into the fact that it's going to be a dogfight.
Unless we get a layup, I would fully anticipate the Dukes looking for the last shot of the third.
And that was Boston Boer with a block right there, or a hand check, or I don't even, what do you want to call it? Is that a push? Is that a hold? Is that a?
They call that a little push. Can be any one of 5 things. It's just the easiest signal to use for the push. And,
I think your last second shot, Coach.
Yeah, Cedarburg says I'm open for a 3. I'm not waiting until the end. Look at that. Great job with 6 seconds left. They got an opportunity to finish at the hole. And the Dukes with a 5-0 run to end the third. Take a 46-40 lead. Back in a moment for the final 8 right here on BCTV.
Choose Renew Physical Therapy for an experience that exceeds expectations. When our team started out, we researched the physical therapy industry to learn what patients and doctors liked and what they disliked. Now we have the perfect formula for you. We offer individualized one-on-one care that is custom tailored to you, ensuring that your needs are met and your goals are attained. With our evidence-based approach to physical therapy, we're able to provide a level of care unlike any other. Contact us today to learn more. We're here to help. Renew Physical Therapy.
Back ready to go with the fourth quarter. What a quick, great ending to the third for the offense from Garber.
Momentum one way. Hayes with a triple. Hayes with a dunk. And then on the other side, Cedarburg with a 3. Max with a big block. Wallaker with a deuce. I mean, you talk about a quick 5-point change right there. Man, that was huge as we head to quarter number 4.
Anything you can do,
that's right.
I can do better.
Now, what's going to happen here is going to be the last team with the ball. Last team with the last momentum burst.
Well, and again,
Sometimes it's better to be lucky.
Fellows puts up the shot a little bit too strong. I think Fellows going to pick up a foul here, and
Off balance.
that's a good shot.
Yeah.
That's a good foul to pick up. You're being aggressive and moving around the hole, and yep. But I fully expected Garber to maybe take a little air out of the ball and force Swan Valley to play defense, but Fellows 2 feet from the basket. You like his chances.
Right. There's another moving screen right there. I don't know how you can argue that. You actually had to physically move yourself to put yourself into the screen. So let's talk about that for a second. First off, your job as a screener is to get set. That is it.
Yes.
It is the shooter's responsibility, the ball handler, whoever has the screen, who you're setting the screen for, it is his responsibility to run his man into you. Nothing else. End of story.
As that is a pretty simple and easy concept, but very tough because you try and make that happen, and that ball is last touched by Fellows. But, yep, anytime that your offensive player does not incorporate your screen into that play, you try and cheat just a little bit to space out, and that's when you get caught.
Well, you want to show coach that you're setting screens. Well, you don't want to set a screen like that where you're going to give up a potential momentum. There's a triple from the top, just misses left on the iron.
And again, the Garber Dukes with the lead. Boy, that ball just falls right into Nearing's hands.
Looks like Michael Penix Jr. last night, just a little throwing it away. Mikey Sangstrill right there.
Yes, indeed. Boy, looking underneath, just a split second left. Prokopenko with a nice little pull up from 13. He's in a nice rhythm offensively right now.
Those shots earlier were big for him. Again, you can tell you're a scorer when you don't remember the last shot.
I believe that's his third triple and at least one double, so he's in double figures for this game, and this is a huge possession for Swan Valley as their third attempt is not there. And look who gets the Windex out and cleans the glass.
Yeah, it's one of those things, too. We got to make sure we're getting into that. Nice spin move by Cedarburg. Oh, he spun himself into a beautiful shot, just rimmed out there. Dukes maintained the 8-point lead.
Like the look, and everything was good about it halfway down the hole, but just unable for that thing to finish. And it looks like Swan Valley's just a little bit offensively discombobulated right now, a little out of rhythm.
I think they're trying to manufacture a little bit too much right now as Hayes will get the kick out from Boer. But, again, like most shots here in the second half, it just didn't catch anything but air. Boer just happened to be the recipient of the offensive rebound.
But, you're where Boer is at. He has such good awareness of where he's at on the floor. He makes the finish look really easy on the putback.
Wallaker with a real patient take there. He waited and waited and waited and then ended up getting Hayes to commit to the air and was able to get some body contact.
And I think that Garber might be spending a little time at the free throw line here in the fourth quarter. So let's see what their ability to finish at the free throw line.
Well, I think it's easy to point to the victories. They've had a lot of success. In the games that they come up a little bit short, they've kind of struggled a little bit where, you could have put a team away. And, people that sit there and go, well, you obviously don't practice your free throws. I can guarantee you, folks, the Garber Dukes, they practice free throws. Getting out there in a game situation, a little bit different than what you're doing in the playground or at basketball practice. But they do practice their free throws.
Split of the two at the line. 7-point Duke lead now as we're at 5.5 minutes left in our fourth quarter of play. Great backdoor cut and beautiful finish that time by 23, DeLille.
Kel DeLille, a junior for the Vikings. Nice cut, nice opportunity, and good finish.
Nice body control by DeLille to have a good, smooth, confident finish. Prokopenko, and they get that ball underneath the Fellows. That ball is knocked away.
No, I'm going to just say he just wasn't able to gather it on the power dribble. And again, we look at a little bit of fatigue. We're getting to that 5-minute mark. You're starting to see a little bit of, a little huffing and puffing out there.
But with 5 timeouts left, Coach Watt's going to do a great job of recognizing that and calling some strategic timeouts.
Certainly knowing when to use it as Wagner with a real nice anticipation there, just A little too late, out of bounds, goes back to the Dukes.
And again, how about the new bleachers here, too,
Oh.
in the Duke Dome? Very, very nice addition, both in the upper and the lower deck. Fellows going to go up again, and that thing just sits on the front iron and will not roll over the top. Another good look, just unable to finish for the Dukes on that offense.
Definitely had a couple of nice looks here in quarter number 4. And again, you're going to take that. I mean, you got them sealed. You had them down. You're 3 feet from the basket.
How about that nice job by Fellows? Again, that long wingspan just gathers that loose ball in and puts the Garber Dukes back on offense. I think Prokopenko wants to shoot this ball, and again, trying to force that ball on the inside. And unable to finish again as they move that ball down the court. As I really think this offensive set's going to be set up for Prokopenko if they can find a way to get him open.
I wouldn't be surprised, maybe go back to a little dribble drive action. They're got a little action right now where they're trying to get the ball. What they try to find is a mismatch there on the screen. They try to get the guard to Max switch, but he hasn't been able to get the switch. So what you're seeing is it what they want. So right now, as he sets the screen, they want him to take the smaller guy down there. So there's a mismatch. You'll see it again here, a little body right there.
And the double team comes, and that is going to be number 15 on the play, Cooper Wagner. Great thought. Why do you,
his third foul.
Yep. Why do you not just hold your defensive position? You got a double team, you get a reach, and you're inviting the official to make that call.
It's not even a difficult one for the official. And not that with a seasoned crew.
Yep.
There.
And there's a timeout, too. Good timeout, 30-second timeout, because trapped in the corner, that's when you got 5 and you can use one.
Right, exactly. And Walker, again, basketball IQ, a master of the AAU circuit's been playing that for quite a few years. You know, he's been through a lot of wars. You know, he goes and plays, 40, 50 games in his after season, his postseason. He doesn't have a postseason. He just keeps playing. So a lot of that IQ he's picked up over the years. And, you got the ball, you got stuck in the corner. Let's use one of our timeouts. Coach Watts he's not going to bench me.
Well, again, and as you look at the success of this varsity program, you look at the feeder program and people like Dan Masick and stuff, we got a lot of people that love Essexville basketball and do what they can to get huge reps in for a lot of kids to better prepare them for their high school days.
Yeah, I'll even go one step further. Dan is huge into it. Keith Nunke and Jordan is now the JV coach, but they've been long-time 7th and 8th grade coaches. That's a lot. Longevity is huge.
And it's that stability, that consistency, and you know what you're getting, and it's the effort. Now 2-on-1 at the other end of the floor. And I'd say a good foul. Make him earn 2 at the free throw line.
I'm not sure I'd let him get that deep if I'm going to foul him. I don't know if I'd want to foul him before, but I'm not sure I'd let the layup get up. I would want to avoid the and one at all things. In all situations, I'd want to avoid the and one opportunity.
But the Dukes seem like they've been stuck on 49 for a few minutes here as that first free throw grabs 3 pieces of iron and finally drops.
And the net.
So
don't forget the net.
Wagner says as long as it finishes with the net, nothing else matters. Much better adjustment on the second stroke. Don't look now, it's a 3-point game. It was just 8, so a little 5-0 run for Swan Valley. They're not going anywhere.
One possession. We talked about momentum. We talked about different runs, and both teams are definitely going to make their runs right now.
Prokopenko has got it stolen. Fellows is going to be up, and he's going to alter that shot as he did. And now trying to roll back down underneath. Fellows had really set himself up. A little bit of a hurried pass, an ill-advised pass, and it was gobbled up by the Dukes, who got a 3-point lead and trying to make this a 2-possession game again. There's a great inside position. Unable to finish. Max Fellows maybe rushed that pass out a little bit, and an unforced turnover gives the ball back to the Vikings.
Yeah, I think they're going to want to just sit back. They're starting to switch on their dribble drive action. So there's a couple of things that they will want to do alternatively. But now that they've seen it a couple of times, it's a lot easier to do as Boer just loses that one off of the dribble, and Prokopenko is the recipient of the steal.
Boy, he just lost his footing. And now that's not something that normally happens. Almost a turnover.
The problem with that foul right there is it's a one-possession game. You're down 3. That's now your 4th foul and the team's 4th foul. So now we're going to be shooting free throws in a situation where just settle down.
They have turned the ball over.
They have turned the ball over on multiple possessions in this quarter. So let them continue to make the self-inflicted mistakes. Don't help them.
And we're going to have a timeout, Garber, and this is a huge possession in the game. Like this timeout by Coach Watts. We'll take a break as well and be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back on BCTV with 2.5 left. Always love the first play after a timeout to see what they draw up and how it's executed.
Well, if you notice in that timeout when the Dukes went over there, Coach Watts had the board, and you're looking at maybe a quick hitter action here, something off of what they've been doing, maybe as an alternative to the dribble drive. They've been getting their pockets picked a little bit there, but a lot of it's they're switching, and that wasn't what they were doing earlier on. So you have to adjust. And if Coach Watts spends a minute in that timeout, they're coming up with a real nice quick hitter type action. But this is a situation where they could just run an alternate off of what they've been running. And again, play against Swan Valley's aggressiveness. They're playing very aggressive, almost to the point where you're questioning why are they playing so aggressive. One possession game. Nearing with the ball, picks it up the dribble, and he dribbles it, but timeout called before, and he will be granted the timeout. It'll be a full timeout.
And it was definitely before the 5 seconds. I know Swan Valley was looking for a double dribble. They were looking for the 5. You always seem to find something on the opposing team that you hope and wish they'd call. But we'll take another quick break and be back in a moment on BCTV.
Choose Renew Physical Therapy for an experience that exceeds expectations. When our team started out, we researched the physical therapy industry to learn what patients and doctors liked and what they disliked. Now we have the perfect formula for you. We offer individualized one-on-one care that is custom tailored to you, ensuring that your needs are met and your goals are attained. With our evidence-based approach to physical therapy, we're able to provide a level of care unlike any other. Contact us today to learn more. We're here to help. Renew Physical Therapy.
Back here on BCTV, Dave Schwartz, the longtime great athletic director here at Garber, doing double duty tonight. They got the Garber Glen swimming going on as well as this great basketball game. So he's getting his steps in tonight.
From the gymnasium to the natatorium.
Indeed, it's a thing of beauty. As we're going to have a foul on the play, and I think if they call that against Swan Valley, nope, they're going to call that, I believe, against the Garber Dukes.
I believe they got Wallaker, if I'm not mistaken, trying to run through the screen.
And, I love officiating when Coach Watts is the head coach because he has very little to say to the officials during the game. But he's like Teddy Roosevelt. When he speaks, people listen. and when you do it less, then it has way more ability to sink in. There's some substance to that. So it's a one-point game right now as Swan Valley did a great job of going to the hole. Prokopenko sends that ball off on the wing right now, and they're trying to spread out that defense a little bit.
They're going to run as a triangle. They're going to run. They're going to go down the screen, and they're going to switch it, and then they're going to get a little seal action there.
And Prokopenko has to get out of the corner, and that ball is finally picked up by Swan Valley, and a little bit of an ill-advised shot. That shot's going to be there the whole last minute and a half, and missed, and now come the Dukes back on offense and a little bit out of control. And we're going to call that an offensive foul, and I don't have to disagree with that because he really stuck his shoulder into the defender. And some people are going to say, well, the defender didn't have great established position. That offensive player cannot dip the shoulder out of control and initiate the contact.
No, I agree, and don't have any issue with that. As it, unfortunately for the Dukes, now we have 14 fouls across the board. So the next one, the Vikings and the Dukes will both be shooting 2. They sit Wallaker. He's got 4. He won't sit long, but certainly give him a little opportunity to take a breather and have a chance maybe to go back out there and do something special.
Duke still with a couple of timeouts left, and now Coach Boer's going to take a timeout and try and work something right now as he's trying to encourage his kids. We'll take another break and be back in a moment on BCTV.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Back here on BCTV, buck 13 left, Coach Boer. See what he draws up right now, down a point right now. Next team foul for either team, unless it's an offensive foul, we're going to be shooting free throws.
Be interesting if he wants to run some clock or if he wants to try to get the lead up and then maybe make Garber have to be in the little pressure situation.
I think he looks for the first halfway decent shot he's got, and I think that was a great opportunity halfway down, and it was last touched by
It was touched
Swan
by
Valley.
You know, from their angle, I can tell you right now that their angle, it would have looked. I mean, I would have been the same way as a coach, but it's the angle. We had a better angle, and you could see it go off of Swan Valley. All you could do is see Fellows' arm moving in one direction.
Well, and Fellows sold that too as he started just to head the other direction. 52 seconds left in the game. Trying to slide that ball around again. Fellows, look at his activity on the floor, unable to get that ball, but long 3 ball, and that is off the mark. Max Fellows can't quite corral the rebound. 35 seconds left. Trying to take the ball to the hole with a little off-balance shot. And the deuce.
Sir Keels with the deuce.
With the serve. Prokopenko, he's going to have to break down this defense by himself. And that's absolutely not what you want. I would say probably Garber's best free throw shooter, Prokopenko.
He is, and again, we were talking about the over-aggressiveness of Swan Valley. If they do not win this game, they're going to be able to do nothing but point their finger, not in a blaming way, but telling a teaching moment, saying, guys, when we're in a one-possession game, we don't need to foul 80 feet from the basket. When we're up by 1, we don't need to foul 80 feet from the basket. It's unnecessary.
That first free throw is the tough one. He draw a couple of pieces of iron, finally gets it to roll softly through the cotton. Second free throw attempt will give the Dukes a 1-point lead if it's successful. Bend to the knees, flick of the wrist. Oh, Cotton on the delivery. Coach Boer needs a timeout. We'll take another break and be back for the final 23 seconds on BCTV.
Choose Renew Physical Therapy for an experience that exceeds expectations. When our team started out, we researched the physical therapy industry to learn what patients and doctors liked and what they disliked. Now we have the perfect formula for you. We offer individualized one-on-one care that is custom tailored to you, ensuring that your needs are met and your goals are attained. With our evidence-based approach to physical therapy, we're able to provide a level of care unlike any other. Contact us today to learn more. We're here to help. Renew Physical Therapy.
As we take a peek at our scoreboard with 23 ticks left, Swan Valley's going to get that ball, and they're going to just now pick it up and with momentum come into the front court, and that ball is stolen. No chance to go coast to coast, and now we're going to have a foul. Well, you almost think at that point, you know you're going to be fouled I try and go right straight to the hole. Looks like you got a legit chance to at least try and finish. See if you can maybe get an and one.
I would go there, and then I would peel out. If I'm not going to shoot it, I would peel out to the corner. He ran to the elbow area, extended three-point line, and then went left. And then that was way too much area not to give the guys from Swan Valley more room to cover. But if you go to the basket and they maybe let you take the deuce rather than get the and one and go down 4, and then able to go out to the corner, you just killed 3 to 5, maybe 5 to 7 seconds.
Second free throw also off the mark with 14 seconds left. Here comes Swan Valley into the front court. They're probably only going to get one last good look, not with 7 seconds left. And they're not going to give that thing to Boer. A layup opportunity with 2 seconds left. Prokopenko with the shot at the buzzer. That's all there is.
There is no more.
The final score in the game, Swan Valley 52, Garber 51. What an exciting finish to the game. We'll be back to put the wraps on this one in just a moment on BCTV.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Back with our Frank's Great Outdoor post-game show on BCTV. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham. Back and forth battle the whole game. You and I talked a lot during the stoppages of play off camera about both teams really had 2 or 3 fouls in the fourth quarter you wish that they'd be able to take back.
It's one of those things as a coach. If you're the winning coach, you're going to be able to sleep a little bit easier with that. And if you're the losing coach, it's all about teaching moments. We're in, January 9th of 2024. Still over a month and a half left of basketball to play. So you really have to learn from these games. And I don't know if it was you, maybe it was me earlier in the show. We talked about the team that had the ball last had the best chance to win this game, just the way that the momentum was shifting one way or the other. And then when you have those fouls, you don't have the ability maybe to play the same way that you have been playing, a little loosey-goosey. Because if you touch somebody, as Boston Boer found out when he fouled Prokopenko 80 feet from the basket, he goes down and hits both free throws. Now, Garber's up the point before Reyes hits the game-winning shot there at the layup. But you don't have that opportunity when you have those fouls. So there's always going to be fouls, whether it's an offensive foul, a dip into the shoulder, a reach in. Again, when you're anywhere 80 feet from the basket, 30 feet from the basket, you really just need to settle in, play defense. Let the other team, both teams were having turnovers. They were kind of self-inflicting. Let them continue to do that. Don't benefit them.
One of the things I think that Garber did very good as the game went on, they really limited Boer's offensive opportunities. They were very conscious of where he's at. They forced somebody else to beat them tonight, and unfortunately for Garber, unfortunately for Swan Valley, Reyes hit that big shot at the end, and they won the game.
Yeah, you're going to be able to go back. There's so many parts of this game you can dissect and want to learn from. You miss a couple free throws at the end. You get beat baseline, rotations a little slow. However you want to look at it. But going back to your point, they made Isaac Boer work. Now, Boston, his brother came in, the sophomore. He hit a backdoor layup. He had a couple of nice. He also had the one foul that was kind of, you want to take back. But how many fouls don't you want to take back? But, they limited him. Hayes came out, hit a 3. Cooper Wagner, number 15, played real well. Had a couple of big steals, a couple of nice layups. So they had their guy step up. My man, Sir Keels. Got to make sure I say that slower. Sir Keels had a couple of nice baskets, and he put them up by a point there at the end too, giving Swan Valley a lead. So they had some players step up when Garber really took Isaac out of the game.
The other thing I think Garber really wishes they had back, they didn't take great care of the ball offensively down the stretch.
No, there was a couple of times Swan Valley did a nice job of switching their defense, and when they switched them, the dribble drive was going right into the defender. And, again, credit Swan Valley, quick hands and being in the right spot, and then not just getting the steal, but being able to come down in transition and finish that with a layup. You can get steals, but unless you're able to transition those into points, they're just going to be a forgotten stat. But if you're able to get that momentum, because not only do you get a steal, it deflates the defense, deflates your opponent, then you get the layup, and now again you're talking a 5-point swing.
Well, it was a great game, very entertaining here at the Duke Dome tonight. Unfortunately, somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose, and there'll be learning moments and teaching moments coming out of this game. And we talk often about the marathon, not the sprint to this race. And you just want to continue to get better so that you're playing your best ball in March.
Yeah, you're looking, before the season, you're talking conference. You want to compete for the conference championship. Once you're in a situation where, you still control your own destiny. You've got John Glenn, you've got Freeland, you've got Frankenmuth, the teams that are ahead of you in the conference coming up. They got a couple of wins in the conference and a couple of losses. So that part isn't necessarily out of the equation. But the thing that I know, being around Coach Watts and having both boys in this program for the last 6 years, is they will continue to get better. They will continue to take each game, whereas, maybe as a parent, an alum, as a fan, maybe even a student, you're looking for that, that supersized moment and that instant gratification where he's always looking long term. And he understands that to get these guys playing their best basketball, you may have to lose a game. He didn't call timeout when they hit the layup. Figure it out. He wants his guys to figure things out, because if they can figure it out on the court, they're going to be much more dangerous come playoff time.
Well, great night for basketball. 1 point short are the Garber Dukes, but that about puts the wraps on our Frank's Great Outdoor postgame show. On behalf of the whole crew, I'm Jeff Doan, along with Jason Newsham. Another great job tonight by Nick Page. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you next week.